Welcome, everybody. My name is Tyler Garnes, and I'm the president of Box Out Marketing. We're a marketing agency that services Infusionsoft clients in particular. We help them with building campaigns, with their marketing strategy, with dialing in the message and the things that make them unique so they can actually get results in their marketing. And that's the topic for today. It's the 18 keys to getting results with your marketing. As you know, marketing can be a really confusing topic. You get into your business and you come up with campaigns and you come up with strategies and you think they're amazing. Then you go out and execute them, and sometimes they go great and other times they just don't work as well as we would like. And there's a lot of confusion there, and so we're going to go through these 18 keys, or what I like to call the fundamentals of marketing. No matter if you're on Facebook or Twitter or you're doing standard offline marketing, these 18 keys are the fundamentals of making it happen, actually driving everything from the beginning of the process all the way to the end to where revenue is generated in the business and benefit is delivered to your customers or your clients. So I'm really excited to join with you today and share these keys with you. I'm also grateful to Infusionsoft for allowing me to do this. I actually used to work at Infusionsoft. I was there for almost 5 years as the director and eventually the VP of marketing at Infusionsoft. I've since gone out on my own and started Box Out Marketing. So really excited to be with you here today. Quick note on a housekeeping item. I love to answer and handle your questions. So if you have questions throughout this presentation, please enter them into the chat box on your screen now. You can do that all throughout the presentation, and what will happen is I'll handle those questions at the end of the presentation. So just enter them in there so you don't forget, and then we'll go ahead and handle it all at the end. All right, so let's dive right into this. Back around the turn of the century, and this isn't the most recent turn of the century, but way back in early 1900s, there was a marketer by the name of John Wanamaker, and he said something that has been coined as a quote in advertising for a long time. He said, "Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half." And that is such a common theme for small business owners. You go out and you try things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and half the time you don't even know what's going on. You're not sure what's working and what's not working. And so this is the problem that we're going to solve today. So what's going on in the world today? Well, there's confusion around what works. There's a lot of things that work for some people that, like I say, you try them and they may not work for you. And then there's just too many tools, resources, and education out there. It's just overwhelming to try and get your head around what to do in marketing today. And there's just also too many people to listen to, right? You can go online and find experts and gurus there. You can watch TV and find experts there, and everybody's telling you different things, and everybody has their own different piece of advice and their own take on things. All of this is what creates so much confusion in the world of marketing and small business growth. So I'm going to take you through a couple of things here. The first is power positioning. What is power positioning? Well, positioning is literally creating a position in your market. So think of a market as a physical place, and each business has a physical location in that space. And if you think of it that way, then you can start to kind of understand the idea of jockeying for your position. Our company is called Box Out Marketing because in basketball, when someone shoots a basket, everyone gets around the hoop and tries to use their body to box out the other players to create space so that if it doesn't go in, they can get the rebound. Because if you've got the ball, you can win the game. If you don't get the ball, you're going to struggle. And so that's what positioning is all about, getting in, creating space that you can own and dominate in your marketing. So we want to show you how to get in and box out your competition. There's 4 key pillars to this process. The first one is who. Who is it that you are targeting? You want to get very, very focused on this, actually. This is a hesitancy for many small business owners, is that they have an idea of who their target is. Actually, they might have a really crystal clear idea of who their target is. But then when they actually get out and start marketing and leads start coming in the door, there's a hesitancy to say no to certain people. Why? Because they might represent business. And then all of a sudden, we're offering products and services to a much wider audience than we may have intended. And then you're trying to market to a much wider audience. And when you do that, really the message falls on deaf ears. If you're saying something to everybody, then you're saying nothing to anybody. And so we want to get very, very clear, actually just laser focused on who your target is. Infusionsoft is actually a really good example here. If you go to Infusionsoft's website, they tell you right on the homepage, sales and marketing software for small business. Okay? There might be some businesses that use Infusionsoft that are a little bit bigger than a small business. There might be some that are, really just barely a startup. But Infusionsoft is very clear about they're working with small businesses. And they're also very clear about the next piece of this, which is what they offer. They offer sales and marketing software. So that's number 2. What is it that you offer? Are your target prospects super clear on what you're offering? Do they know exactly what you have and how it's going to help them? Can they look at your website, like we just did with Infusionsoft's website, and know that you have the solution to what they need? If those answers aren't clear to them, then we need to get more clear on in your marketing about what it is that you're actually offering. Number 3 is the problem that you can solve. What is that problem that your prospects have that you can solve? We've got to look at this from a problem-solution perspective. Okay, do they have a problem that is just really painful for them and we have the solution? If so, are we being very, very clear about that in the marketing? Next is what makes you unique. Do you stand out in the crowd? When people look at your marketing or your business compared to others, can they look at it and it's super obvious to them that you are going to offer a particular benefit that's different than the competition? Do you stand out like the red ball on the screen here and they go, oh, that's the one I need? When people come to your website or when people see your marketing, they should be able to look at it and immediately recognize they're talking to me. I understand what they're offering. They get my problem, and it sounds like they've got a solution to that problem, and I totally see why I should hire these guys or sign up with them or buy their product versus anybody else out there. If those 4 things are crystal clear when people see your marketing, then you're on the track for success. This idea of separating yourself from the competition and being unique is really important. Let's look at an example that I ran into just the other day. I was at the Chevron station pumping gas, and I saw this little sign on the gas pump. It says, unlike low-quality gasoline that can leave harmful deposits, Chevron with Techron contains a patented technology that breaks up deposits and removes them. It's cleaning no gas can beat. Now think about that. It's really interesting. They didn't go attack the competition. They didn't say, hey, the guys down there at ARCO have terrible gas. The guys over at Texaco, their gas makes your engine, get all dirty with these deposits. They don't say that directly, but they say, unlike low-quality gasoline. Basically, that casts a judgment on all other gasoline, that they're all low quality and they all leave harmful deposits. You may not know that, whether that's true or not as a customer, but it's certainly saying that, hey, Chevron with Techron contains a patented technology, so it's patented. No one else has it. That's what makes us unique, and so you can stand out from the crowd. That's a very simple formula you can follow in your business. Unlike blank that does blank, we do something better or different. All right, next we're going to go into indoctrination. When people start to get familiar with your business, they need to be indoctrinated. They need to become fans. They need to get familiar with what it is you do and how you do it and why you're different and why it's so exciting to be a customer or a client of yours. They must know, like, and trust you. There are so many options in the world nowadays that people make purchasing decisions based on who they know, like, and trust. That is one of the primary factors. So your marketing should build a relationship in the process, okay? And you should create raving fans even before they actually ever buy something from you. So how do we do this? Well, number 5 in our list of keys here is killer content, okay? Your content must create hope for your audience. Now think about that. Why should it create hope? Your audience has a problem, which we've already identified. and you have a solution. If they can look at your marketing, and they can look at what you're doing, and they can see and even feel the hope for a solution to their problem, they're going to gravitate towards your business. They should be able to look at your marketing and almost taste the solution. And if they can, they're going to continue moving towards a purchase. Why? Because of hope. Hope is one of the strongest motivators. If we have hope that something's going to work, if we believe it will work, then we will move forward. So you want to generate that hope in your marketing. All right, number 6 is segmentation. How do you generate that hope? How do you get this message across? Well, you need to segment your audience in detailed ways. You've got a group out there. Like I said, it might be a very broad group of people that generally fit your target. But then as you start talking to them, imagine if you could talk to every single person individually, you would talk to them in slightly different ways. You would talk to these red people over here because they have red shirts. You would talk to them about red shirts. And over here you have some green people, and you talk to them about their green shirts. And they have different problems. They have slightly different desires. And so you're going to talk to them each differently. Again, if you're doing this individually, face-to-face, then you have that ability and you do that naturally. But in your marketing, are you able to pinpoint and laser target specific audiences and talk to them in very specific, powerful ways? This is one of the very powerful things that Infusionsoft can do for you, which is segment them based on who they are and even what they've done so that you can automatically follow up with them in very, very specific ways. Here's a good example. Here we have a web form where on the website people are able to fill out this form to request more information. And we have here a simple question. What's your biggest challenge? And in this case, it's getting a clear vision for where I'm headed, getting more potential clients in the door, converting more prospects into clients once they're here, building a team to help with all the work, or all of the above and more. And depending on what someone chooses here, the follow-up is automated and it's different. If someone's trying to get a clear vision for where they're headed, then we can instruct them and help them get that vision versus someone who is trying to convert more prospects into clients, we can teach them about conversion strategies. And so all of that is helping to segment the audience and have very, very specific follow-up. All right, number 7, behavior-based responses. We can segment people based on who they are, based on their desires and the problems that they have, but we can also segment them based on their behaviors. Now, in my home, when we talk about behavior, we have 3 boys and 1 little 2-year-old girl, and behavior is usually referring to some bad behavior or good behavior. We are very blessed, lucky, we have good behaving kids, but we're often focused on that part of the behavior. What I'm referring to here has nothing to do with this kind of behavior. It has to do with their actions, whether they open emails, whether they click emails, whether they actually fill out a form and request a consultation or request more information, whether they purchase a product, whether they purchase a product and then they fail to purchase the next product. All of those types of things can be automatically tracked and triggered, and then we can follow up specifically based on what they've done or what they haven't done. Imagine someone comes to my website and they fill out a form to request a free report. And then I have an email that's sent to them that has a link to download that free report. Well, if they don't click the link to download the free report, then I can follow up with them specifically to find out what went wrong. Was there a problem with the link? Did you have trouble downloading it? Versus if they did click and download, I know that, and I can trigger a different response. I'll follow up with them in a different way, asking them what they thought, how can we help, all those types of things. So we want to be aware of all of the different behaviors that our prospects can take and how we can follow up with them based on those behaviors. All right, number 8, we can send all the email we want these days. Email is very cheap and easy to send, and everyone sends the email all over the place. But are those emails getting opened? That is a really important question because all of us get so much email, and we tend to just go through our phones or on our computers and just go delete, 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 delete until we get down to the important stuff. How do you make sure your emails stand out as important? How do you make sure people actually open them? Well, I'm going to share with you a couple of tricks here. So the first thing is understanding the context. So when someone comes to your website, your website, in this case, this is a company called Canva. Canva is a cool little online tool, allows you to create images. Well, if I go to the website, somehow I got there because I was searching for how to create images online, whatever, and I end up on canva.com, and I fill out a form to sign up for Canva's free offering. Well, I know Canva, but what I don't know is Melanie Perkins. Melanie Perkins, I think, is the CEO of Canva, or maybe she's a support person. I don't know. No, she's the CEO. That's why this email says why I started Canva. She's the CEO, but I don't know Melanie from the lady down the street, right? So what she did that's very smart is she put in the from Melanie Perkins parentheses Canva. Okay? Now why is that important? Because I know Canva. When I get into my inbox, if I just see email from my mom, email from my clients, email from my employees, and then I see email from Melanie Perkins, I don't know who Melanie Perkins is. I'm just going to delete it. Okay? The from is one of the most powerful pieces of that whole equation. But if I see Melanie Perkins Canva, I know, hey, yesterday I just signed up for Canva. What does Melanie have to say? I'm interested. What is it? So why I started Canva? Great. I'll open it up. Okay? So that's one quick little tip. Alter the from. When people opt in, when they first get on your mailing list, make sure you use the parentheses or some way of identifying your company name, which is what they might recognize first, and then you utilize that to transition a relationship into the person that they're getting email from. All right, number 9 is preview text. So we get email on our phone, or we get email on our desktop, or we log in online and we're looking at our email in Gmail or whatever. In almost all email clients these days, we have what's called preview text. So you can see here is my list of my emails from a while back. You see this email from Degree 33 Surfboards. And you see the subject line is 6 reasons a custom surfboard is right for you, part 1. But the preview text is the grayish text below that says, Tyler, we're just like you. Each of us at some point thought that custom surfboards were for a select few. Okay? So what it does, the email clients do this. They take the first phrase or sentence or so out of your email, and they show it there as preview text. A lot of times we don't realize this, and we write unimportant things at the beginning of the email, and it shows up in the preview text. So what we want to do is leverage that. Your subject line is basically like a marketing headline. The preview text can be basically like the subheadline. And so if those two things work well together to grab attention and get people interested in your emails, then you can use that powerfully. Okay? So here's Alaska Airlines Insider, last chance to save on Vegas, plus your weekly deals. And then you can see their preview text isn't great. They probably got a little menu inside that email. It says save on extra 5% off flight deals, web view, update preferences, Jason, not a mileage plan number. It doesn't flow. It's not a sentence. It's just jumbled stuff. And so you want to leverage that in a powerful way. Here's Sport Chalet, up to 60% off summer clearance sale. Take 20% off swimwear, 25% off sandals. I got a phone number, etc. That's actually not bad, right? I can see the offer. I can see two offers and a phone number I might call if I'm interested. All right, number 10, pattern interrupt. Pattern interrupt is such a powerful technique. Now, when we send emails, oftentimes when we're sending emails from a business, they come out looking really nice. They've got the business's logo on top. They might have a background color. They might have a sidebar. You've got a newsletter-style email, all those types of things. They look great, and they're nice, but they often just develop a reason for the people to ignore them. Right? We all get desensitized to those emails, and so we go through those emails in our inbox and just delete. They look the same. It looks the same as last week's newsletter, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm busy. I'll come to it maybe another time, right? But if you got an email that looked like this, then you might stop and pause. Say I got an email from Melanie over at Canva, and it looked like this, and instead of contact out first name, it said my name. It said, hey, Tyler, I just sat down at my desk and noticed you checked out our video demo, and I wanted to reach out personally and see what you thought. I'll be in the office for the next couple of hours, so give me a ring or just reply to this email. I'd love to talk through it with you and answer any questions you might have. Now, that looks like Melanie cares. That looks like Melanie just sat down at her desk, and she was thinking of me, and she wrote up an email and just sent it. It doesn't look automated. It doesn't look fancy. It looks like she just cares. So that's really important. There's a pattern that we establish, and sometimes we do this purposely. Someone goes to our website, they request a free report by filling out the form. First email I send them is going to look like a nice designed corporate email because they know it's automated. I'm going to send them an automated looking email when they know it's automated because I want them to establish that pattern. And then I'll send them a few other automated emails that look the same because I want them to realize, hey, these are automated emails, great, there's some good content, but, whatever, I'm going to move on with my day. And then I'm going to hit them with an email like this. Now, here's the trick. It is automated. Infusionsoft sends this email for me, and the people don't know. My recipients, the people on my list, don't know that it's automated because it doesn't look automated and it doesn't sound automated. But I care enough to set that up for them. And so they feel that care, they get that email, and I get lots and lots of replies from these types of emails. So use that pattern interrupt. Change up the style and the tone and the voice of your emails a bit and have some that are more corporate-y and some that are just really personal so that people know that you care and they respond. All right, next we're going to move into a different phase. We talked about lead generation and getting attention and these things, and now we're going to talk about conversion. Once you get those leads in the door, how do you actually get them to convert? All right, so you've got to provide reasons for people to make a buying decision now. That's the biggest problem is people will hesitate. People will think, well, I'll just get to this later. And so we need to help them come to that decision now if they're the right person, right? We don't want to persuade all kinds of people to buy our product if they're not a good fit. But if they're a good fit and if this product is going to help them, we need to help them make that decision now. The next thing is we've got to overcome that inertia. The inertia of just sitting still and not making a decision is really powerful. So to do this, we need to remove all doubt about our product. So let's talk about a few keys to help us do that. Number 11, what do I write in these emails or in my marketing communications? This is a really tricky part for a lot of people. How do I know what to write? I know that the right words will help people convert, to help them make that decision, or help overcome that inertia, but how do I know what to write? These people are going to be all confused, right? They're maybe I'm going to buy this. Yes, I need it, but no, not right now. I need to help them make a decision and move forward. So what I'm going to have you do is Google on your computer, look up the Mountain Man method for writing copy. This was a kind of a quirky little video that I created years ago, but it gives you a simple format for writing email sequence copy. The basic idea is you're a mountain guide, and you need to guide people up the mountain. Well, there's obstacles on that mountain. And so what we're going to do is guide them along the path, and then when they come to an obstacle, we're going to put up a sign. See, we can't be with everybody. We have to mark the pathway so that they can do it on their own. So we're going to put up a sign that tells them, hey, there's a river up ahead, and here's how you cross the river safely, right? And then once they get past the river, we're going to have another sign that tells them which direction to go. And then when they come to the next obstacle, it might be a cliff, we're going to put up a sign, warning, dangerous cliff, and tell them exactly what they need to do to avoid dying on the cliff, right? And that's the basic format, but if you look that up, you'll get the whole video explanation. And the idea basically is, how do you know how many emails to write? Well, first, determine how many common sales objections that you have. So get out a piece of paper. You can do this right now. This is easy. Get out a piece of paper and write down your common sales objections. So it might be things like, it costs too much. It might be things like, how do you compare to the competition? It might be things like, hey, can I wait 6 months before I make a decision? And whatever your common sales objections are, write all those down. So how many emails do you put in your sequence? Well, you're going to put at least that many, however many sales objections you have. Because what we're going to do is proactively handle those sales objections. So if someone downloads a free report, we'll give them one email to deliver the free report, and then we're going to start one email for each of these sales objections. And in that sales objection, we're going to write that email just like the mountain guide. We're going to warn them about a particular problem. We're going to give them the bullet points of here's how you overcome that problem. We're going to give them the good information. And then we're going to tell them what happens next. Hey, once you get past this cliff, you're going to head down the path over here, and this is going to happen. And so the way you do that in your emails is you have a little PS, and you tell people, hey, hopefully this information was helpful to you. in a couple of days I'll send you another email about such and such. And it's about the next objection, about the next problem that they might have. And so then you bait them along, and instead of being annoyed by getting multiple emails from you, they're looking forward to this. Oh, they're going to send me another email that has really important information that I need. I'll look forward to that in my inbox. Okay? So we're not going to go into the details of the Mountain Man method for writing copy here, but you can find that on Google and go look it up yourself. Okay? All right, number 12, you've got to prove it. You've got to show proof that your product works, that people can actually get results from what you offer. And so the best way to do this is to share testimonials. You want to put these on your website, put them in your marketing materials, put them in commercials, in radio ads, in your ads online, wherever you can. Show testimonials of people getting the benefit that your audience is looking for. At some point, it becomes undeniable that your product works because the proof is there and it's all over the place. Number 13, leverage the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity says if you give someone something, they're more likely to give back. So if you give them great content, give them great information, you may even send them something in the mail, they're more likely to feel like they need to give back by buying your product or service. Okay? I mean, you get right down to it, it's a bribe. But in business, it's a little bit different, right? We just want to continue giving great value to people so that they know that we're interested in really delivering a solution to their problem. We want to make sure that they know we care and that they know that we can help them. All right, number 14, buy now, right? This is the urgency factor in sales and offers. Now, you don't want to be the annoying company that's always putting out the buy now offer all the time, and it's just in your face, and it's urgent, like the sticky note that I have on the screen here. That can get annoying. But when you do run offers, one of the most powerful motivating factors in an offer is urgency. If people know that this offer is a great offer and that it's going to go away soon and they might miss out, this is what we call fear of missing out, then they're more likely to act. They're more likely to actually take action, overcome that inertia, and actually do something about it. So make sure that when you're putting those offers out there, when you have a sale or some type of promotion that you're running, that there's some urgency created in there. A key part of this to note is that the urgency must be real. Okay? If people feel like you're creating urgency just because, then it's not going to help a lot because people see right through it. So it must be real urgency. What are the ways to do this? Well, seasonal promotions are very helpful. For whatever reason, people understand seasonal deadlines. So Black Friday, people know, hey, this sale happens on Black Friday and it's over, right? If you're just doing it on a random Wednesday, they might think to themselves, well, why is it on sale today and not tomorrow? Right? They might come in tomorrow or call you tomorrow or visit your website tomorrow and just be like, hey, can I get the deal you had yesterday? Because it seemed like a pretty good deal and there's no reason you shouldn't offer it today. So seasonal deadlines, seasonal promotions tend to work well. But also if there's a reason for you to create some urgency, maybe you offer an online class or a live class. And that class starts on December 1st. Well, there's urgency to get into that class now because we're going to close registration. We have to close it to be able to then start the class on time. That's a good way to leverage real urgency. All right, number 15 is scarcity, and it's the same thing. Scarcity is a very powerful motivator. If people feel like the offer is out there and everybody's jumping on it and it's almost gone and I might miss out, it's another one that's tied to fear of missing out. If I might miss out because there's not enough, then I'm going to jump on it right now. If you sat down to dinner and this is what your dinner plate looked like, well, you're going to stab that tomato as fast as you can so that you can eat before anybody else grabs it and it's gone, right? So scarcity creates demand, and you want to leverage that in your business. Again, you want to make sure that the scarcity is real. If you offer any kind of services, that's a real scarce thing, right? You have people or systems or whatever that deliver the services that you sell, and those people are limited. Let's just say you're a landscaper and you've got 10 landscapers that work for you. Well, you can put an offer out there and say, hey, we're only selling 30 of this particular package. Why? Because I've got 10 guys to deliver on this, and their schedules are already full. We've got 30 spots in their schedule to go ahead and fill right now. That's an understandable reason for scarcity. The time slots on the calendar are limited. The people resources are limited. And so it makes sense. Now, if you sell online software, the scarcity is a little trickier, right? Hey, we're only going to sell 10 licenses to Infusionsoft today, just because. Well, why? It's an online system, and obviously that's scalable, not a problem. So that wouldn't make sense, right? But let's say you were rolling out a new feature in your online software, and you said, hey, we're going to allow this for only 10 people to beta test while we're getting it ready for final launch. You might get a lot more people jumping on that because people want the feature and they know there's a scarce resource there, and they jump right on it. So make sure that the scarcity is real, or at least for your audience, they perceive a real reason for the scarcity and the urgency to exist. All right, number 16, you got to put out an irresistible offer. If the offer isn't something that people feel like, wow, I would be stupid to not jump on that right away, then it's just going to flop. So you want to create a situation where, like SpongeBob here, these people are just frothing at the mouth to get at what you have. Now, it's important to understand that when I say irresistible, I am not meaning to discount. Don't confuse irresistible with discounting, okay? One way to make an irresistible offer without discounting is to bundle products and services together. So you might have a primary product that you sell for $100, and then you got a bunch of ancillary products that are $5, $10, $15, etc. Ideally, your margins on those ancillary products are great. So the $5 product costs you 50 cents to buy, the $10 product costs you $1 to buy, etc. So what you can do is you keep your $100 product at its original price, and then you bundle in all the other products. You say, hey, we're going to give you $40 worth of free products if you buy our main product. And really, those free products cost you only $3 or $4, but you're able to sell the main product by doing so. And so the perceived value is much greater. The perceived value here is $140. I'm going to save $40 by buying today. Okay? So that's a simple way. There's lots of different ways to do this. If you offer ongoing services or memberships, you can offer a lifetime membership. Right? Let's say average amount of time people stick with you is a year or 2 years. You figure out, hey, if we offered a lifetime membership for the cost of 3 years, that might seem really appealing to people. And that way we get 3 years worth of revenue out of them instead of just 1, even though it might be discounted. Okay? So you can come up with all kinds of ways to create a very powerful offer, but make sure you're not just discounting, because you don't want to cut into your own profits. The race to the bottom is really scary. Right? There's always someone willing to go out of business faster than you. So remember that. There's always someone willing to go out of business faster than you. So don't just discount to generate sales. All right, the next section here that we're going to go into is the close. Once we get people all fired up, ready to buy, we've got to close the deal. So we've got to reduce confusion in the process. Sometimes closing a deal is really confusing. If you've ever bought a home, you know that you sit down and it's just a mountain of paperwork. And that is just terrible, right? And then you start wondering, wow, should we really be doing this? Oh, what did that little contract say? That's scary, right? Oh, what about this flood insurance? Oh, do we live in a flood zone? It starts raising all kinds of questions if the process is confusing and you're going to lose sales. So you want to make sure that's a really smooth, easy process. You also want to make sure you don't stop following up. So here's a couple of things. Key number 17. Simplify the checkout process. Now, checkout might be synonymous for some of you with an online purchase. But when I say checkout, I mean any type of checkout, whether it's happening in person, point of sale, whether they're signing a contract, whether they're going online. Whatever it is, you want to simplify that process as much as possible. Make it simple. To provide payment options so that if they don't have a credit card, they can use PayPal, or if they don't have PayPal, they can use a credit card, and give them multiple options. Provide social proof. Remember, we talked about this earlier, your testimonials. If right at the very end they're just questioning, I don't know if this is going to work for me, well, social proof can help them get over the hump. They look at the checkout page and they see little testimonials of people just like them who got great benefit out of what you're offering, and it'll help them overcome the inertia. You can offer a guarantee or a warranty. These are the types of things, again, right at the end, that are going to help them feel comfortable with moving forward. The last thing here is free shipping. Okay, if you ship physical products, it's been proven that free shipping is an offer that helps people get rid of their concerns and actually just move forward. All right, and key number 18 is nail your cart abandonment sequence. Even if we do everything right, there's going to be a certain number of people who don't actually finish the purchase process. They're going to get all the way up to the finish line, and they're going to walk away. So we want to make sure we don't lose track of these people and that we continue following up with them. So a few things that we want to make sure that we're aware of. Reasons people abandon the cart or stop in the process of purchasing. It's too complicated. There's a high cost of shipping. So we talked about this, or ancillary costs. Have you ever gone through a process and you thought the price was one thing, and then you get to the end, there's all these taxes and fees and shipping costs and whatever, and then you just throw up your hands and go, it's not worth it, right? If they're forced to register or create an account before they can actually purchase, sometimes that's a deterrent as well. Or if they're concerned about security. So if they get to the end and, they're not sure, well, who are these guys? Is this kind of shady? Is this site secure? Are they going to steal my credit card information? Then they might get concerned as well. So that is a quick summary of the 18 keys to getting results in your marketing. And we have an ebook that I want to deliver to each of you that go into detail. This ebook goes into detail on each of these 18 keys and shows you exactly how to execute on each of these by sharing examples and things like that. And I want to deliver that ebook to each of you. The way that you can get that ebook is to go ahead and sign up for a strategy session with Infusionsoft. And they'll go ahead and just deliver that to you right away. So they have this strategy session that they call their growth plan. And this is a phenomenal thing. As a business owner, you're going to be able to get on the phone or sit down with one of the Infusionsoft business coaches and have this growth plan developed for you for free. All you have to do is go to Infusionsoft.com/yes and sign up there. That will get you registered to have a growth plan developed for you, and they'll also send you our ebook, the 18 keys to getting results in your marketing. But what's going to happen is they're going to sit down with you over the phone, and they're going to go over first, what kind of business do you have? Are you a consultant? Do you sell online? All the different types of businesses. They're going to try and understand what is it that you're trying to accomplish and what do you need help with. And then they're going to help you actually develop a lead generation plan. So how are you going to attract and generate more leads for your business? How do you really refine your core product offering so it's really lined up with the lead gen plan? And then who is your ideal customer? We talked about this earlier. How do you dial that in and get laser focused on that ideal customer? And so when all those things are in alignment, when you're talking to an ideal customer and you're attracting them as leads and you have a core product offering that is specifically designed for those people, and then the next piece is you have a very clear and strong unique selling proposition. This is what we talked about earlier, right? The 4 keys or the 4 pillars of power positioning. They look at it and they can say, wow, they're talking to me and they understand my problem and it looks like they've got a solution and I can see clearly why I should sign up with them instead of someone else. Then you've got a winning plan. So this is part of the growth plan that they're going to help you develop. So go ahead and go to Infusionsoft.com/yes and you can sign up for your growth plan there. So thanks so much. It's been really fun sharing this information with you. I hope it's been valuable to you as well. All right, so another thing that I wanted to mention is that when you sign up for the Infusionsoft growth plan and you work with a consultant there to develop that growth plan, they'll give you an opportunity, of course, to sign up with Infusionsoft and get this very, very powerful software that we use in our business, and we work with all of our clients to leverage this software more powerfully. When you sign up for Infusionsoft, you get what's called an Infusionsoft Kickstart. The Kickstart is a service that helps you get up and running with Infusionsoft. And there's some live calls that happen to help you get the training that you need and help you get the features set up and all those types of things. And what I want to offer to you guys is anyone who's been on this webinar, if you sign up with Infusionsoft after this webinar, then what we'll do is we've done a deal with Infusionsoft, or we've arranged a situation with Infusionsoft where my company, Box Out Marketing, will actually deliver this Kickstart for you. Now, why is this important? Because we do this day in and day out with small businesses all over the world. And we have some pre-built campaigns to help you get up and running even faster. And so we have a lead magnet campaign with campaign tracking. So you'll log into Infusionsoft. On your dashboard, you'll be able to see each of the emails in your campaign, how many people were sent that email, how many people opened that email, how many people clicked that email, and how many people converted after that email. Wow, why is that important? Because when you look at those emails, you'll be able to see, wow, email number 1, getting opened and clicked, lots of activity there. Email number 2, doing great. Email number 3, oh, not as many people are opening that one. What's going on? And you'll be able to go in and fix it. And you might notice in another email number 5, let's say, has a great open rate but a really low click rate. People aren't engaging. What's wrong with that one? By seeing the numbers, you'll be able to make wise decisions. And so these campaigns, when we set them up with you, will help you get all the tracking on your dashboard so that you know exactly what's going on. The next campaign we're going to help you set up is the sales pipeline management. So if you sell over the phone or in person or at events, things like that, you'll want to use sales pipeline management, where you'll have stages for each of your sales prospects. No lead will ever slip through the cracks. When you come into work each day, or your employees come into work each day, they'll see on their dashboard exactly how many leads are in each stage of the sales pipeline. They'll know who they need to work today and what needs to be done. And you'll have automated follow-up in all of the appropriate situations to make sure that those leads don't go cold. Okay? Next, customer fulfillment and referrals. Okay, so that should say and referrals. So the customer fulfillment and referral process is once someone becomes a customer, you don't want to just leave them high and dry because you've collected their money and now you're on to the next prospect. You want to deliver a wowing experience. And so the customer fulfillment campaign is going to help you do that. And then once they're wowed, we're going to automatically follow up with them for referrals. And so the automated referral process is built into that particular campaign. Next is personalized long-term follow-up. I showed you that one email under pattern interrupt. It was a very personal email, but yet it was automated. But we have a whole campaign of those. And so when someone comes in as a lead and say you follow up with them and you try and get them to buy and they don't buy, and that's okay. We put them into long-term nurture process in Infusionsoft to automatically be followed up with. And once a month or so, they're going to get a very personal email from you, checking in, just seeing how they're doing, offering a little bit of advice. And those emails are the ones that really get the responses because they feel like you're reaching out personally, and they begin to develop that personal relationship with you. So that campaign we're going to give you as well that has all the copy already written. You can just go in and tweak it. All right? So we're also going to assign you a Kickstart coach, someone here at Box Out Marketing who's very experienced at guiding small businesses through this process, and they're going to help you through the entire process through various different calls on the phone. They're going to walk you through step-by-step, making sure that you get everything set up in Infusionsoft, you don't get confused or overwhelmed, and that the system is up and running for you in your business. There's also 14 online lessons in our membership site, which you'll get access to, with detailed step-by-step processes to help you get up and running. So if you decide you want to work on Infusionsoft for some reason at like 11 o'clock one night because you've been working all day in your business, well, you can just hop right in there, and they're short little videos showing you step-by-step through the entire process. And then you can get on the phone the next day with your coach, and if you have any questions, they can help guide you through the questions that you may have had. So just an offer for you guys. If anyone who's attended this webinar, if you want to sign up with Infusionsoft, we'll go ahead and deliver that amazing Kickstart process for you from Box Out Marketing. So I look forward to talking to each one of you and having my team work with you in the Kickstart process.